Oh, hi, I didn't see you there. This is a disclaimer for all of these videos that I'm making for the Rocks and Minerals unit. I do not expect you to do these at home. I don't expect you to go scrounging around your yard and trying to find minerals and rocks and things that will work for this. This is for me to show you what you would have been doing in class if you were there. The problem I'm having is the day they told us that we might not be able to go into the building, I grabbed everything I could think of to do these labs, and some of it I didn't grab. So I'm going to do the best I can with the materials I have. So please be patient, put up with this, have a good time. Yay! Oh, hi! I didn't see you there. So glad you could join me today. We are doing a lab today that is called mineral identification. So this is our rocks and minerals second actual lab. We started off with observing natural resources. And then we did the diamond dilemma where I was making the earrings. Today, we're going to look at the different properties that minerals have. And we're going to test a mineral to try to figure out what it is. Okay, so I'm going to read off the list of properties: color, transparency, luster, hardness, streak color, reaction with acid, and light refraction. So you would look at that lab sheet and decide which of those you would be testing. And if we were in the classroom, you would choose 5 of those. So let me show you the mineral that we're going to be testing. Okay, so we're going to be ruling out 2 of the properties. So the first one is what we call streak color. And because they can both be the same color, they can be lots of different colors. And I have a white sample trying to find the streak of this. If I rub it against a white piece of ceramic, it's not going to do me any good. The other one obviously is color, because I don't have another piece of this, and because calcite and quartz can both be white. So we can't use that one either. So we're going to use the other properties. Ready? We're going to start with transparency, whether or not this is transparent. And if you remember with the diamond lab that we did, things can be opaque, translucent, or transparent. Transparent means you can see right through it. Opaque means can't see through it at all. Translucent means some light is going to come through. So this particular sample I have is definitely not transparent, but if I held it up to the light, I can see light coming through it. So I'm going to say that this is translucent. Translucent. It was not completely transparent, but it was not opaque. All right, luster is the next property. And this piece is kind of, I wouldn't say that it's definitely not brilliant. There's some pieces that are kind of sort of shiny, and then other parts of it that are definitely not shiny. So it's more not shiny. So we're going to call this one dull. Not very exciting. No, I mean not very brilliant. The next property we're going to test is something called hardness, and we use something called the Mohs hardness scale. And so this is a scale 1 to 10, 1 being the softest. There's something called talc that they make powder out of that's really soft, and when you touch a piece of talc, it's like, seems like a rock, but it's really silky when you touch it, like the pieces, the little bits can come off. The hardest one is a diamond, right? And so we learned the other day that diamonds are very hard, and the stuff we were looking at, not so much. So we used a copper plate when we did the diamond lab to see if something was harder or softer than copper. And we also have glass. On the Mohs hardness scale, glass is somewhere around a 5 or a 6. So if this is able to scratch copper, we know that it's above a 1 and could go up to 6. If it can scratch glass, then we will know that it is on higher up on the scale. Okay, so we're going to start with copper. Okay, so we're going to start with the copper. We're going to see if this is harder than copper. So I'm going to scratch it a couple times here. And what do you think? Did it leave a mark? Let's find out by wiping this away. Is there still a mark? Yeah, there is a mark. So we know that it's harder than copper. Now what we're going to do is see if it's harder than glass. Okay, so I'm going to scratch this. It kind of looks like there's a scratch, but it's just that, nope, it came off. So do you see a scratch? No, there's not a scratch. So we can say it's harder than copper, but not harder than glass. So we're going to have a choice. If you look at the lab sheet, the choice says that it's either a 7 or a 3. A 7 scratches glass. This is not a 7, so we're going to say that this mineral is a 3. Hardness, we said it was a 3 on the Mohs scale. So it's not very hard. Did you fill out your paper yet? Fill out all the papers? The next one is my favorite. We are going to test for whether it reacts with acid or not. You ready? Okay, so this isn't really going to work for me because these are my old goggles from college, and watch what happens. So if you wear glasses, this is a great opportunity for you to wear your glasses and not have to put on goggles. The goggles that we have at school that you normally would use have all been donated to the hospitals that needed protective gear for all of this stuff going on with this virus. So I'm going to go put my glasses on instead of using my goggles, and then we're going to do the test with acid. We're going to put one little drop, and if it reacts with acid, it will bubble. Okay, so you need to get real close. Real close. Can you see it? Do you see all those little bubbles? Yeah. So this is reacting with acid. Now we have to be very careful because we have to rinse this off before you touch it because it's acid. Reaction with acid? Yes. It reacted to acid with all the little bubbles. So lastly, we are going to test for light refraction. This is where you've got to use your imagination and trust me. This is not the best sample of a mineral that would be able to do this. Normally, if the light refracts, you can see through it enough that you could see whether it kind of doubles the image or if it's crystal clear. And I grabbed a really poor example when I was running out of the classroom the other day when we knew we weren't going to be able to go back in. So trust me, you would kind of see double with this one. Two images. So we have discovered that this particular mineral has properties that match calcite. Calcite compared to quartz, they both can be white. Calcite is translucent, whereas quartz can be transparent. This is dull. Quartz is sometimes glassy. This is a 3 on the Mohs hardness scale. Quartz would be a 7. And streak color would both be white, so we ruled that out. This one reacts to acid. Quartz does not react to acid. And then sometimes you can see 2 images through this. You always see a single image through quartz. So this is quartz. This is calcite. I don't know about you, but it would be pretty hard to tell one from the other without doing some tests on them. So this was the purpose of the lab. I hope you learned something. Fill in the papers.